What's going on, everybody? Today we're out here working with the old NAPA portable air compressor that we got for the Jeep. Time for some onboard air. We're going to try to work out a system here. Been watching a bunch of videos, got a bunch of ideas. Going to try to work out something of my own. Hopefully this works for some of you guys. Follow along. Alright, so this is what we're working with here. This little NAPA dual pot compressor. You see them all over the place, sold by a bunch of different people. This one just happened to got it from NAPA, 150 bucks online. Best deal I could find. The only thing I've done so far is I swapped out the hose and I put this quick release on there just to try it out, because I got the other pieces over here and I just wanted to play with my new toy. So now we're going to finalize this whole thing and actually make this a working unit version 1. It will progress and it will end up in the Jeep, and some of this wiring will go away eventually, but for the most part, parts and pieces I got here are going to stick around. It comes with this cool little carrying bag, and in here I just put my hose. This is off the old Amazon. This hose came with this quick release. I had to get on the back of the quick release a 1/4 MIP to 1/8 inch MIP fitting to make it screw in there. And yes, I'm sticking with the 1/8 inch for right now, version 1. Version 2, I'm probably going to go to a 1/4 inch. You know, 3/8 is better, but this is going to work good for what I'm doing for me. So for you, you might want to do something a little bit different. And then also in here from Amazon, this guy was 100 bucks. Digital gauge. The valve that I don't have to squeeze, I thought that was kind of a plus. I can just turn it off, it'll check the pressure, I can let the air flow, all this stuff will kick that back on, and I don't have to stand there and hold it, you know, with the old handle. I just got the little valve, so I thought that was nice. You know, I expect these to fail at some point, maybe have to upgrade this whole deal here at some point, but you know, for now, works for what I'm doing. This here is going to be my small parts list that I got to do this upgrade. I got a 150 psi manual blow-off valve. I got a 200 amp relay. This will be controlled eventually one side by my switch panel in the Jeep, and I'll be able to turn it on after that last trail, driving back down to the parking lot, airing up the tank that's going to be in there, turn that back off when it's done, or let it hit the pressure switch that I got here. I believe this is a 100 psi pressure switch, 150 psi compressor, and I think the tank was rated to 200 psi, so I think I'll be good with all of that. And then I got the correct size drill bit and tap combination, and then a lot of guys I saw online, when they were hooking up their pressure switch, they're having to bend these tabs out and everything to make it fit all up in here, and we'll see that in a minute. I went ahead and I got myself some of the 90-degree spade connectors, so the wires will go on and then they'll come off to the side and kind of look like it should. So hopefully I've improved a little bit on some of the stuff I've seen online to this point. Okay, I went ahead and took the screws off so you can see what we're working with here. Got the manifold, quick releases on this side. Here's your factory relay. A lot of these guys will just go ahead and disconnect this wire. Well, they'll wedge their pressure switch up in here. They'll throw this to there, another wire back to there, and call it a day. I'm going to take it one step further for my version 1, and we're going to get this in there. We're going to eliminate this, I don't know, a bunch of little components that could possibly go wrong and render my compressor useless, to just this simple on-off high amp 200 amp 12 volt relay. That's also going to free up a lot of room for a lot of activities in here, and I think make for a cleaner installation. And we're also going to render this useless basically, because the board's going to go away, and this will be replaced with the one up on the dash eventually. But for now, this is going to be my main on-off switch, like I was saying. So let's go ahead and tear into this thing and get modifying. All right, let's start doing this, guys. Pull that one off, come off as planned, and take the negative from the motor and the negative from the battery, And this is all labeled on the board. And I just need to connect these two. Need to grab myself some shrink wrap. Went ahead and got myself some shrink wrap, some 8-gauge butt splice and rings. And since we're going to be getting rid of all of this, this will be our power wire for our relay trigger. We're also going to need a ground for our relay trigger. So when I do this connection up, I'm also going to add a ground wire into it. Ta-da! Ground wire. Just a small, I'm not sure what this is, 12 gauge maybe wire. It's about the same as the other one. And so this one we will make come off of here. Hopefully we can do this right. Okay, there's that. Now let's get in here. See about getting this power wire cut off. That wire there. That wire there. Now we just go ahead and unplug our switch. Now we can pop this guy off. Put the motor on one side. And this is the very first snap-on tool I ever bought when I started doing wiring in cars 25 years ago. Made in the USA. Good old the Thomas and Betts company, Elizabeth, New Jersey, patented. They used to have some handles on them here, and you know, show all the different stuff. I'm sure I've been using them wrong all these years, but you know, it's one of those things. There's the ground wire done. Alright, now that we got all the electrical mostly done, it's time to get the head off and work on the manifold here. And we want to kind of mark where we're thinking that we're going to put some stuff. So I'm going to take some quick measurements and I'm going to make some marks on here and drill some holes. Try to do this slightly symmetrical here. Okay, so that's roughly 7/8 of an inch in. So let's do a really rough 7/8 of an inch there. And then that'll be for our blow off. So our blow off will be on the same side as our air hookup. So even if we mount this thing on its side, everything will be either pointed up or kind of same orientation, so it's not one opposite the other. Now we just need to figure out exactly where we want to put our cutoff switch. So our relay and our cutoff switch and everything plays nice there. Okay, so to set this back on, I figured the relay can be about there. So we only need a little bit of spacing offset because of the way the threads, you know, do what they do on the inside there. So I think if we go somewhere about here, just gonna make a mark there to then try to transfer that mark to the center on the bottom side. So a couple of holes there. We're going to drill those couple of holes out, tap them up, and install the stuff. Okay, so we got for our blow-off valve, our quick release over there, and then our shut-off on the bottom here. And I see a lot of these guys on these videos, they'll just be like, oh yeah, this is a compressor, just turn it on and blow it out. Well, this is what you end up with inside of there. It's just all this sparkly stuff, and so it's just a better idea to pull the heads. Got myself some cotton swabs, and I'm going to go through here and I'm going to pick out everything that sparkles under the light. That all needs to go bye-bye. I'm going to go ahead and do that to both sides. This was after blowing air into these holes that I drilled and tapped. It blew all this stuff out of the inside of this manifold here, and it blew it to each side. Try to leave as much of the lube as possible, I guess. Okay, that side looks pretty good. Now let's go to this side here. And I don't know how well that shows up here on the camera, but we're going with it. And that whole glob right there is just nothing but sparkles, so we'll go ahead and take that whole glob. So those connections are all good and tight. So before this goes back on, make my life a little easier, I'm going to go ahead and mount this guy here. And I'm just going to use this self-tapper. And that's a real short self-tapper too, by the way. We can make our electrical connections onto the switch. Going out that way. And now that all sits down in there really nice and neat. Now I'll go ahead and bolt that back down. Gotta drill another hole opposite of that for a pressure relief, and we'll get our pressure relief and our quick release put back in. And we'll run a test. Okay, now we got the heads torqued back down. I went outside and then inside. Now we're going to go ahead and use the good old step bit, and we're going to try to replicate this hole best we can on the other side of the plastic here, so we can get these lined up. Yep. That pulls, that pushes. And there you can see the inside and how that cleans up. Cleans up really nice. Yeah, I forgot on these guys here. What did I do? I used this. And we don't need these anymore. Oh man. Okay. Oh wait, no, there's already a hole there. My bad. Gonna be a sticker on that side here pretty soon. Okay, so that top lined up. There you have it, folks. The only thing to do now is to go hook it up and try it out. Okay. Here we go for our first test. It should air up and shut off. Step one complete. Okay, let's check our blow off valve. Does it blow off? Oh, wow. That works a treat. Now, there we go. Now we got a line full of air. Come over here. Right now we're sitting at 34.2 pounds. Let's go ahead and air this down a little bit and, you know, get the concept going. Okay, 33.1. Hook that up. 34. 1 pound of pressure all the way around. Look at that. Let's go for 25. Wow, look at that. Works perfect. Better unhook the power and then drain it. Okay, power's disconnected. All the air's out. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. This has probably been one of the easiest DIY things I've done that go the farthest with our hobby. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you found it informative. I'm going to leave some links and some descriptions down below. Get your parts and pieces and make it happen. See you in the next one.